Hello everyone, this is BigALSKIx,
And this is JTB.
and today we have another NG talk with Guilty Gaming. It's going to be exciting, so exciting that we got some special guests today, the Godfather Dictator, sorry about that, and Weibull760.
Hey, what's up?
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Okay, Guilty, this really is exciting having all these guys here. It's going to be so much fun. Guilty is not only a skilled Ninja Gaiden player, but he's an excellent modder. This is called Ninja Gaiden Hack. And I guess go ahead and explain, what you've done, how you get it started. I mean, just take it away, and then we'll ask questions as we go. Take it away, Guilty.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks, gentlemen, for having me. I really do appreciate it. I've watched a couple of these. The Farnham talk was probably my favorite so far, just because Farnham is... he's just like a crotchety old man when it comes to Ninja Gaiden 2. If you just drop Sigma 2 anywhere in the chat, you're going to get him riled up. So that always...
We found that out.
It always gets me a good laugh. So I've been tracking you and JTB and Farnham for a little bit. And JTB, I made this costume especially for you.
Nice.
I wanted to keep it a surprise for you.
Oh, nice.
But
the cape has his logo on it.
Yes, it does. I took his logo, his emblem, his brand, if you will, put it in Photoshop and just sort of like pulled out the main 3 or 4 colors and tried to make a classic ninja color scheme based off of that. And I think it came out okay. It's very purpley, so I don't know if you're fond of purple.
This looks awesome.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah, I like the L bar too and all of that.
Yeah, when I HP2 Karma run, I will use this costume.
Oh yeah, that's why I do a lot of these things. It's just to get that kind of reaction out of people. Godfather, this was your trick that I got watching one of your speedrun streams or your Karma runs. Just I never. So
Nice.
That's how it all started. So Dietrich had come down. This is when I was in Mississippi. I just had my boy, and he came down and he was staying with us for a few days. And this is just me screwing up because I hate platforming in this game. And Dietrich found my OG Xbox and a copy of NGB in the closet of the guest room he was staying in. And he was like, "Bro, you left this for me to find, didn't you?" Because way back when, in 2005, we had an apartment together. We're best friends ever since high school. And due to some circumstances, I moved out and got an apartment, and he was my roomie. And that's pretty much what we did, was play NGO4 and NGB and cause a ruckus. I got notes lying around, like my MySpace blog, if that dates me, of neighbors kind of talking to us later on in the day or the next day, being like, "Hey, y'all are a little loud." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, that was just me snapping a controller in half because of freaking Alma."
Now, if they understood, that would.
Oh yeah, awesome. They would totally if they knew the pain, because that was the furthest I got before I enlisted. It was Master Ninja, and it was Alma. I could never beat her, and I never got past her. And it wasn't until 2019, after Dietrich found the Xbox and got NGB out, and we started playing it again, I'm just like, wow, we really suck at this. I thought we used to be good. So we just looked up on YouTube, like NGB tutorials, just to kind of knock the rust off, and that's how we found JTB's channel. And
hey, real quick, Weibull, you have a kind of a similar story with Shinobier and Alma also, right? When you first started playing?
On
NGO4,
I had like no elixirs when I got there, and I had saved it, and that was my only save. And I think I tried it maybe 50 times, and then I was like, screw this, I'm going to go see if someone has some videos. And yeah, it was Shinobier's, and that helped me beat it.
But back then, those videos were hard to find, right?
Yeah, they were tough. I think they were on the Tecmo forums or something. I think that's where I found them. That's dating myself.
Because, well, for those who don't know, Weibull is before me and before JTB. He actually started out in the 2004 and in the Master Ninja tournaments, and has some fun little apparel that he got from them that if people have seen some of my videos have seen us wear in the past. But anyway, continue, Guilty. I just wanted to kind of throw that in there, that don't feel bad. A lot of people struggled on Alma back in the day.
I just want to say, by the way, I love the skin of these enemies.
Yeah,
Oh, it
me
looks
too,
awesome.
It
Yeah.
looks neat.
So I missed out on a lot of that stuff, and that's like my one lamentation when it comes to this community is that I hear Big Al, you, and JTB talking about the forums and game facts and Iberians, and I don't know why I never thought about just going to the library and getting on the computers there and looking into some of this stuff, because I had done it before. When I was younger, I had gone to the library to look up how to beat such and such temple, like the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time, or Brave Fencer Musashi. I was stuck somewhere, so I would look up a walkthrough or something like that. I don't know why I never thought of getting online and just seeing, there's got to be a community out there for this game, because I am struggling. Somebody out there must know. And if I had done that, I would have found Big Al's life motto, which is save multiple slots. Don't just pour everything. Don't overwrite your save.
Rotate.
Yeah, rotate.
Yep,
And if I had
exactly.
done that, I
Rotate those
probably
saves.
could have reloaded sooner, and maybe I would have beaten Alma sooner. But
Once you do it, though, it becomes
oh, it
second
absolutely
nature
does,
after.
and
Yeah.
that's where I stand now, because whether it's NG2 or Black or 04, I'm using all the save slots for one reason or another. So that's kind of
Smart man.
It started way back when, after high school, 2005, and then I enlisted and kind of just went globe-trotting, doing my thing with that, and then had my boy Dietrich came down, found the Ark of the Covenant, if you will, and said, "Hey man, let's play this again." And that's kind of what started it. I played. I don't think I had an original. My stuff from way back then is long gone, so I had to start all over again. And I worked through Master Ninja, and when I beat Alma this time, I was so happy. And it was using the strats that all y'all have publicized through your channels. And when I finally beat, I was streaming through Mixer, which is now an old sentence too.
I thought Mixer was a lot of fun, by the way. I just want to say
It was
that.
easy. It was easy to stream
Yeah.
to, and that's why I used it. And nobody at the time watched any of my stuff, because it wasn't really for them. It was mostly because I was in Mississippi and Dietrich was in Ohio, and I would stream. And I have a recording, and I actually tagged Team Ninja on it when they were doing their promotions for the Master Collection, of me beating Mirai on Master Ninja. And I had to censor myself a few times because I figured that they wouldn't want to share a tweet when it's me going, "Yeah, hey, can I curse on this?" Or is that because
Well, I mean, we try to keep it friendly, but if you need to, there's a few times if you need to throw a few words in there. Trust me, I've dropped a few F-bombs, but we try to, keep it friendly.
you watch any of my streams? That's pretty much all I think that's my channel's trailer. It's just me saying everything under the sun because this game just brings it out of me. But yeah, when I beat Fiend Mirai, I was just like, "Oh fuck yeah, fuck you, it's done, I did it!" I was just so ecstatic, and then after that, I
I
was like,
think
"All
we've
right."
all been there, too.
Oh yeah, I was so happy. I finally did it, and I was a 30-year-old man, and I was like, "Yes, this was something I should have done 15 years or so ago, but it took me this long."
That's one of the things I like about
I respect the excitement.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That's one of the things I like about watching your stream is how excited you get and just your emotion while you're playing it, because that's exactly how we all feel playing it.
Well, now I'm wondering.
That's passion.
The passion
passion,
now, I don't even play it as much as I used to. Now I spend all my time extracting models or modding it, and I don't even really know. I guess you could thank COVID for that, because I was watching, just sit on the couch whenever I was home, because my kid's daycare was closed for a little bit. So I'd pull up YouTube.
That looks cool, by the way.
Oh, the bats? Oh yeah, the white albino bats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're way easier
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
Those brown bats are sneaky. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
tell
you know that for up close and personal on your no damage
yeah.
run.
Well, I thought about changing them back, but
then-
now I might just leave it, just because. I mean,
Yeah, they look cool.
sweet.
Unless you put them in a way that they're fluorescent or something, like neon, a neon bat.
I mean,
Well, the glow of the nunchucks looks cool whenever you charging it.
yeah, the
Yeah.
gold one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like golds. Yeah, pretty
Long
awesome.
story short, I found these tools out there on Free Step Dodge and Zentax, because people had done modding for Dead or Alive 3, and that's another Koei Tecmo Team Ninja game, and the formats were kind of the same, so I just kind of piecemealed my little arsenal of modding tools together. And around this time last year, I think it was actually, it was October 2nd, 2020, I put out the tutorial for how to play the Hurricane packs using the famed movie profile saves. Oh, I think I included this because I get killed in like the most ass way possible.
Right. You know, it's funny, when I saw it, I almost took it out and said, oh, he forgot to do it, until I realized how you died.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh.
He had already done his slash.
Yeah.
That was
Delayed.
unfortunate.
Do I get iframes in Wind Run or Wind Path? Sometimes. I guess it depends on who's playing. Yeah, when I found those tools, like Greed Explorer is one for looking at the textures, and I don't know, it was a crazy time, just like finding all this stuff and piecing it together and finding out like, oh, there's a separate texture for the glow when you charge up the weapons, and there's different models. Like there's actually a cutscene Ryu and a gameplay Ryu, and one has a couple more textures than the other, like things I never noticed, and I took me a while, but I could extract the sprites also using Greed Explorer, and I could modify them and inject them. So not only can I change the Lunar's in-game appearance, I could change its sprite. And then I found that you could go into the .mez file, and that stores a lot of the in-game text. So
now remember, you're talking way over my head when you're saying dot and whatever you just said, and sprite and all that stuff. So I don't know how many people are going to understand that.
So when you pause the game, you have the static images of the Dragon Sword and the Lunar and the Nunchaku in the menu, right? And whenever you pick up an item, that's the sprite, that flat 2D image that pops up on the screen.
Okay.
So and that is a whole container. Like this game is like 200 something containers, and each container will hold the background music, the different textures relating to whatever object that you're looking at. Like Alma has her own container, and every costume of Ryu that has its own container, and the sprites, all those images in the menu. I can't seem to get up on that platform.
Yeah, your platforming is as good as mine. It seems.
It's awful.
Good company.
I should have sent you. I should have done like the Bone Dragon, like going underground, because that platforming is the worst for me. When you climb up and you're dealing with those three freaking archers, never fails. They always shoot my ass down. I just plummet, and I mean, thank God I've never tried going for a karma run, because as soon as you fall, that encounter's over. You missed out on those points, and I'd just be cursing up a storm.
Or a speed run.
Dude, I've watched some of you guys. I've watched some of you guys, and I'm like, maybe I could place in the top 25 on a speed run. Yeah, I gave him.
I'm never doing one.
Mariah's got blue jeans, and his tattoos on his arm and his chest. One arm is a little darker than the other because that was an oversight. He's got a sunburn on his right arm.
He was hanging out the window of the car.
Yeah.
On the way to the Hayabusa village.
I like the tattoos, though. That's cool.
It's just amazing. Like, I was able to kind of figure some of this stuff out, and it was all because of other people that had made progress doing Dead or Alive or other games. But I looked extensively to see if anybody else had done anything similar, and I might be wrong. I don't think I am, but I think I was the first one in the world to do some shit like this.
Oh, I think so too.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yep.
Yeah. Same.
Like, no one's posted anything like this before. Like, I've seen like tiny little mods, but that just seems to be people using like Game Shark stuff.
Yeah.
But like actual modded costumes and that, like, I've never seen anything like to the extent that like you showed over the last couple of years.
I want to say real quick that the faces of the red ninjas, it looks like they have like black goatees. I know it's their mask or whatever. Yeah, but if you just saw it right there,
yeah.
Like
I thought that too.
Boo-band shoes or something like that.
It looks like that.
I think I took like one of those like samurai mask designs with the teeth or whatever, and I just plastered it on their little mask or whatever. But they move so fast you can't really tell. And I think I tried to have like a common theme with like the tribal markings on their costumes and everything, but why doesn't Mariah have that? I don't know what I was thinking. I think it was just me being like, yeah, let's just throw some patterns on here and see how it turns out. Because these are like the first changes I made, and I'm still rocking them for whatever reason. I just haven't found anything better, I guess, to replace them with. And unfortunately, just with the Master Collection and how everybody's found out ways to do the mods on that, NGB on console has almost fallen to the wayside. I feel kind of bad. Like, I did a full run-through of Ninja Gaiden Hack, and it was to demonstrate everything that I had modded up to that point. And that's just a fraction of what there is that you can play with in this game. I mean, like, on JTB's stream yesterday, I mentioned that I hate Chapter 8 and Chapter 9. I hate the military levels because those guys are just, they're bastards. You know, they just, up until that point, it's kind of like the same tactics for all the different fiends. But then the military guys change up everything, so I always get my ass kicked. And I hate the tanks, and I hate the helicopter.
But I love the game.
Oh, I love the game, but I hate some of these freaking chapters. And I think I have that on my bio, too. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with this game. It makes me so mad.
Yeah.
My wife is like, why do you play it? You do not sound happy.
My wife says the same thing.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, so does mine.
It's the price of
You have to
entry.
play it more. That's the secret. Like, play more.
It's the admission fee to being in this community. Is you gotta hate it, and then you start to love how much you hate it, and then it just becomes it's all love, I guess. Yeah, like I changed the helicopters and the tanks to brown instead of green, and I changed a few different things here and there, and at the end of it, like, there's still so much that I could do.
Now, does it change the gameplay? I mean, it looks like it doesn't change the gameplay at all. It looks like some of the guys took some extra damage from what I remember, but I mean, I could just be forgetful.
No, this is all just cosmetic. When it comes to any code, for lack of a better word, the language that the game speaks, I am ignorant. I have no idea. People have asked because, you know, you can mod the intercept scroll into Sigma on console and on the Master Collection, and people ask, like, yo, is intercept in Sigma? And I'm like, the scroll is. I couldn't tell you if the actual code that the game uses to, you know, dictate how intercept works, I couldn't tell you if that's in it. I have no idea what it looks like.
Yeah.
But I almost wouldn't be surprised because in my experience, NGB is all of NG04. There's like virtually nothing removed. I had to watch your stream yesterday, JTB. The ice gobdecks, I forgot those were in NG04 because I don't think they're in NGB, but the fire ones are. So, however, if they apply some sort of mask or something to just change their appearance, then maybe that's what they do, and maybe it's still hidden in NGB somewhere. But
I think they're only in mission mode though in NGB, right?
The gobdecks are. I don't even think the ice ones are in it at all. I think it's just the fire ones.
No, they're not.
Hey, I wanted to point something out real quick here. On Masakato, whenever you kill him, whatever ninjas are out there, those guys die too. But it's funny, on Mirai, it doesn't. I wonder if that's kind of a game oversight, because you had one ninja left whenever you kill Mirai. And well, I guess you didn't kill Mirai. That's the reason he stayed alive. There you go.
Very much.
Yeah, he stopped me before I could deliver the blow, because I was on to him, and he was like, no, we got a game to play. We have a story to tell. I was like, all right.
So guilty. I thought when you say, I don't know the coding and all of that, I thought you were gonna know the secret on how to connect FS on Awakened Alma more.
Oh, we'd have to talk to Smith.
100% connect. Yeah.
Oh, shoot, don't leave it up to me. I think JTB already found the secret on that. You have to free jump towards her, right? You can't win path.
Manual jumps definitely make a difference on that. It's that's all I can really say. Like, they definitely make a difference. Like, you land more, but it's still a bit of a lottery, you know.
Yeah,
that's something that I that's the reason I got to use the wind path, is because I can't jump straight. I mean, Weibull will attest to that. He gets a good laugh out of me whenever he sees me try to jump straight. So it's I'll take the luck knocking her down whenever I get a chance.
Yeah,
but
same
I'll
here.
take it.
I'll play the lottery as long as I don't get juggled around by her freaking energy balls.
That's funny. That's. Well, I was just gonna say that's literally the first video I ever made when I posted it to GameFAQs was Hurricane Pack 2, and it was just to show that I got like juggled by MK's energy balls, like from full health bar to death, like just brutal, and I was just like, okay, I got to see if anyone else has seen this before, and that was how I started making videos. It was fun.
Now, people might have heard us in the past say you've gotten weebled, and that's where that came from.
That's where that comes from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what was it, like 32 in a row or something? I mean, it was because you could intercept some, but once you missed, that was kind of it back then, right?
And that's what happened. I think I intercepted the first couple ones, and then and just got full juggled into the wall. Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
It was hilarious. I hate that that's lost to the histories of time.
No, I found it. So
Farnham has a pretty good Weibull clip. Just FYI.
Well,
wait, you said you found it?
Yeah, remember I told you the internet Wayback Machine.
Oh.
So all of a lot of our old videos are on there, and I found my original video on there
Well,
from
I thought somebody
IW
had to
site.
save the website to
Nope.
the Wayback Machine.
I was super surprised. There's a bunch of videos that aren't on there, but I spent like a good hour clicking on all of the links and different dates from IW site, and I could see like when the IW site changed over to the new like forums and the styles, and some of them got lost there. But no, there's a ton of videos. That's why I sent you those links. Big Al was hopefully you guys could go through some of them and save as much as you can, because
look
there's
how
a
strong
lot.
this guy is. He's just
screw that
blocking
guy.
everything. Sorry.
I've heard about Iberians and that story before, and I'm like, dude, if it's money, let me know. I will send him money for that hard drive. I do not care if there's that much NG history out there. I will do whatever it takes to get that shit.
Well, we tried, and relationships and all that stuff.
I mean, for the videos, who knows? But like for me, it's always the forum that, like, because as far as I know, like the forum's gone. Like that's just lost to like cyberspace. You know what I mean? Like that is just gone. That's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And as bad as it is to lose the videos, I think the forum was the bigger loss. The videos at the end of the day can be remade. Like that forum can't be, and that's like the biggest loss of that era is like losing just like every thread we had. The mission mode thread is like a big one, because we brought that back on Ninja Archives, and it's great that we have that now. But that starts at like 56 million, whereas the one on the old forum started at like 40.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, Weibull, whenever you were looking through that, did you see that could there have been any documents in there, like Yevyosh's, or was it just videos that you found on that?
Those documents might be in there.
Because I do plan to go back and explore that. It's just kind of with everything that I've been doing and with JTB and. I mean, not trying to make excuses. I haven't got to, but I still have your email saved in my inbox, and so that's one of the things to go back and check out. And I would like to, especially your Weibull video. You have to come back on.
Oh yeah, I saved it. On
By the way, you still have the world record for captivating goddesses 4. By the way.
Yeah, I saw that. I still go on the forums every once in a while, and I told Big Al, like when he was doing his 50 million mission mode, it kind of spurred me on, because I was only like 500,000 away when I stopped playing years and years ago, and I was like, okay, I can't let him get 50 and me not get 50. I mean, he's older than I am, so come on now. So I went back and I got 50 million right after he did. So I have been playing a bit.
Congratulations, by the way, on that.
Yeah, you too. No, it's work, man, especially at our age. It's not easy.
Well, I told him, I said, do it in another 10 years, then talk to me about your age.
Yep.
Because you used to laugh at me whenever I would bring that up. And,
I know.
There's nothing wrong with that until you fully understand it about the age thing. Because Iberian Warrior used to kind of, say, Al, I'm telling you, in a few years, you're going to understand. And he was right. He was right. So, as usual, we got off track. That's what we weren't going to do. But it's good, fun history to talk about. Going back to the game, so how does all this load in together? I'm kind of a buzzkill, I guess, by putting us back on this, but how does this load? Or I've noticed that the some of the names are different. The Dragon Sword's not the Dragon Sword.
Right.
Some of the other things that you've done. How do you go through and do all that? Or
so this is all on console, and what started it all, I guess, was wanting to build my own computer to play emulators, and then finding a couple of videos on soft modding Xboxes. So I got my Xbox soft modded with big hard drive and all that crap, and found out that you can connect your computer to it over FTP. Then you could burn games, and you can kind of just drag the stuff back and forth. And at first I was like, well, disk preservation, this is great. Just rip a game to the hard drive and I'm good to go.
Yep.
But then I found out that you can pull these files, pull them right off on your computer, and I started digging into like what's an AFS file, and then once I opened that up, I was like, what the hell is a KMD? What is DDS? How do I view these things? Now the change, like I changed the Firewheel's Ninpo to Will-O-Wisp because that's what the Ninja Gaiden wiki said it was originally in Japanese. So I was like, all right. And when I did it, the characters fit. Like you can't make new space. It has to fit in. I tried.
Nice.
I tried changing in the very beginning when you choose difficulties. See, I changed
the colors. Cool.
Yeah.
The blue Firewheels looks awesome.
Yeah. In the beginning, when you're choosing difficulties, I wanted to change hard to warrior and very hard to mentor. Well, I could change very hard to mentor because very hard is enough characters to fit mentor, but hard is only the 4 letters, and warrior is greater than that, so it kept airing out every time I tried. So there are some limitations to what you can do on here, and all I did once I got past like some of the texture mods and everything else, I started looking into some other files that I hadn't really explored, and that was these .mez files. It might be shorthand for message, and that's because everything that's in the .mez, it's the script, like the subtitles that appear over dialogue. And it's these letters here. Like I changed projectile weapons to just projectiles. Everything that isn't like predetermined by a texture, if it's just loose script, then you can kind of mess around with it, within reason. And that example of trying to change hard to warrior, that's an example of those limitations. So yeah, there's a lot you could do here. I just kind of kept finding it as I went along, and I was really, I guess for lack of a better word, impressed with how much I could do.
Yeah.
By the way, the name of the armlet bangle of puissance, what is puissance in French, right?
I figured it was a French word just because of the way it was spelled and the way it's pronounced, but
yeah, it is a French word. It means basically it means bangle of strength.
I learned. I tried to look up a few things to kind of like, match the intent or like, why would you use this bangle? It's like, it's for strength. Well, it's like, why are we going to call it Armlet of the Sun? Like that's boring. I changed Armlet of the Moon to I think Aegis Will because it's a defensive buff, and that's what the name should imply. Just little things like that, and I still want to change the dialogue, like the subtitles, to match more closely to what they say in Japanese. But that would require a lot of like taking pictures of the Japanese subtitles and then using Google Translate. We all know how accurate Google Translate is.
So you'd be offending a whole nation.
I could be.
Yeah.
So I might just leave it be. I might just leave it alone. But I can pick up like I think they say Kokuryu Manwa is the black dragon blade, and I hear Majin thrown around a few times, and I'm pretty sure that's fiend or monster or something. But I'm looking at the subtitles and I'm listening to the English dialogue, and they're not saying in English what they're saying in Japanese. I guess it's just part of localization. But
yeah,
that was like my little nitpick on Final Fantasy VII Remake, was that there were things that they said in Japanese that didn't really make it to the English, and it's not like game breaking, but there's some subtle hints in what they're saying in Japanese that is lost in translation. And so I was like kind of hoping that there should be an option for like a faithful translation option. I don't care how it's localized. Tell me what they're saying, word for word, but in a language I can understand.
Selden on the site, he speaks like fluent Japanese, and I think is that what this language is? I hate to sound so stupid. Is that what it is? I don't want to get like, I know there's different dialects of it and things like that.
Well, yeah, that's all I know. I think it's like that with Chinese too. There's like different dialects, and
Yeah.
there's a couple people on the Discord, and for a minute there I was like, I could try to translate some of my English into Chinese to make it a little easier for them, and I just kind of gave up because I was like, there's 4 different kinds of freaking Chinese I could choose. I'm not doing this.
Yeah,
They
and then
know.
say the wrong thing or something and
Yeah.
really insult people.
If they copy what I say and translate it back, I mean, they know, I guess, and I don't. There's a few things that I would try to do, like I think XIs or XZs, he did a Spanish dub for one of my tutorial videos, how to play with Ninja of the Future in NGB, and he's in Mexico, so that's pretty easy. I can send him some stuff in Spanish, but I think he's fully bilingual, so I didn't need to send him anything in Spanish. So after a while, I just stuck his English. I wouldn't have guessed that, he is from south of the border. But I also have to throw out there that because of Dietrich finding the Xbox and because of me looking up JTB and then going down this rabbit hole, I mean, I got greetings from Chile in my DM the other day on Discord. I was like, holy shit, like people from the Philippines and Mexico, Germany, freaking Britain, England. I don't know what the appropriate thing is to say about you guys over there, Jay, but it's a international thing, and it's just crazy to like have these people all over the place, just like.
That's something that I've recently started looking at, sort of YouTube stuff, just because I find that stuff interesting, like your analytics and that. And yeah, this game has an audience everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Like it's not as big in certain parts of the world, like as you might imagine. But I think one of the ones, I don't know why it was surprising to me, but one of the biggest like kind of slices of that pie chart on my channel is India. Like it's
no kidding.
A really good scene in India too, and you think like you just, I don't know why, you just wouldn't expect it, like, but you think, well, why not? Like, it's an awesome game, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Like, the only thing that matters is that the game is amazing. So, of course everyone's gonna want to play it.
Godfather, do you notice where a lot of people view your channel from off YouTube? Have you ever looked into that?
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of spread all over. I guess there's people from various places, and I've seen though that there's a kind of big Spanish community for that.
Oh yeah, there is.
Like Ninja Gaiden that plays that game. Yeah, I've noticed. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, that shows the quality of the game when it's spread kind of like all over the world. And yeah, I just wish it would still like get more visibility than it does. Like I just feel like in a sad way that it kind of got overshadowed by, the Souls and all of that from Soft,
Right.
And I mean, it was here way before the Souls game, and I feel like people kind of forgot about that, sadly. So yeah.
So what we're gonna do now is Guilty's going to show one of his modding process videos and kind of explain some of that stuff. But I don't know if you know. Weibull, why don't you talk about your modded Xbox and how you got into it? And does this kind of combine or correlate with what Guilty's doing, what you did in terms of, your modding expertise, or is this just totally different?
It's a bit different, but yeah, like a little bit of background on how I got into this was exactly what Guilty had said before. When the Xbox first came out, I didn't buy it right away, but then as soon as someone figured out how to mod it, one of my friends brought it over, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. He has all these movies on it. He's able to rip all of the games right drive. Like, he installed a big hard drive on it. I was like, and I've always been into programming and everything, and I immediately went out and bought one. I was like, okay, I got to figure out how to do this, like, right away. And I think that was like 2002 or 3. And so when I was able to mod it, and I got really into coding the original Microsoft dashboard, which is like written in VRML, and I was super in, like, you guys have seen my modded Xbox, like it has different colors, different backgrounds, like there's different things on there, and like I was obsessed with the community, and like people would put in requests for features and stuff, and like everyone would just start coding and stuff, and you could make a name for yourself writing all these little scripts and stuff. So I thought that was super cool. But they used to have a subscription service for CDs or for the game discs, like Netflix used to do, where you get a disc in the mail and you keep it for as long as you want, then you mail it back. So that's what I did to get all of the games, because back then, like we had dial-up internet, so you couldn't download like full games, or it'd take like days. So I was getting all of the games in mail, and I played Ninja Gaiden on the original Nintendo as a kid, and it was the one game I had that I could not beat. Like I got to the last level, and every time you died, you had to start over from the beginning on the last level. And I remember breaking my controller as a kid on that game, and I was like, oh my god, this game is so hard. But so when I saw that a new one came out for Xbox, I'm like, oh, that's cool, I gotta get that. And then it sat on my hard drive for maybe a year before I ever played it. And then once I picked it up, it consumed me so much, and like going on to GameFAQs and everything, that I stopped modding my Xbox. Like it completely took over my life for like the next, I don't know, 5-6 years, like through Iberians and everything. But I never got in, like they had mods, like they were called trainers on the modded Xbox for Ninja Gaiden and stuff, where you could start with in chapter 1, like the different weapons, like the Dobby and stuff, kind of like the demo disc had, and you could like have bow and infinite health and all that stuff. But I never really got into looking at the files and stuff like Guilty's doing. So this is awesome, and it's crazy, like it took this long for someone to actually start digging into this, and I think it's great. Like this is amazing.
Yeah, like I don't know. I have no idea what is going on in the video, but like this looks so easy. Like I'm guessing this is sped up. Like,
very much.
Yeah, and like this looks so easy. But like I'm seeing all these menus, and I'm thinking, what is going on? Like,
are you being sarcastic with being so easy? Because and I'm glad to know it's sped up, because if not, you're superhuman. That's how
that's what I mean. Like looking at this, it's like, and this is just to change a costume.
Yeah.
It's like how do you get like the hurricane packs working? Like
right.
Well, doing the costume stuff was a whole hell of a lot more difficult before. I think his name is. I've said it once, and I can't really do the Chinese accent very well, but I think his name is Diao Bat Qian. His screen name on Zentax is like CH Zhang, 710 or some shit. Well, he wrote a model exporter for NGB and Sigma, like original like PlayStation and Xbox NGB and Sigma, and I was like, who the hell else is out there going back in time like some of us are? Like you're saying, it took a while for somebody to do something like this. Yeah, I'd say it did, and I guess it's because the community has never really been that crazy. I mean, who plays Dead or Alive? I mean, people who like fighting games and people who like Booba. But with Ninja Gaiden, there's a community of people who love playing hard, tough as nails games. But how much did that overlap with people who like to do stuff like this? I guess it never did, because it took this long. But he wrote a script in 2021 to extract models from the Ninja Gaiden Black AFS containers. And I was like, dude, this is amazing. I mean, have we never crossed paths before? I mean, did you just do this because you felt like it? But before that, I had to do everything you're seeing here in Photoshop and then push it to another program, save the textures, and then save it, like go retroactively back to put it back in its container, drag it to my Xbox, turn the Xbox on, clear the cache, reload the save, and then see how it looked in the game. And if it didn't look good, then I had to do it all over again and figure out where I went wrong. Like, I put a picture up of Gamov when I was modding his trench coat and everything on my Discord forever ago. And I changed every texture to something obnoxious and bright. Every color you could think of, bright fuchsia, super bright turquoise, I changed it to everything so that I could correlate, okay, that's his collar. It's violet purple. Where is it on that screen right there? That's Greed Explorer. Where is the purple, the violet color? Okay, there it is. That must be the collar. And I would just go texture by texture, square by square. But now because of him, because of the script, I can just pull it up in Blender and then do everything I want and just go between that and Photoshop. And then once I get to a happy place, I pull up Greed Explorer, I change all the stock textures to whatever I want it to be, and then I just drag it back to the Xbox, and I have some certainty of what it's going to look like in-game because of his Blender script. So I give a lot of credit to everybody else out there who wrote, some of these programs. Whoever did and created Greed Explorer, you are a freaking angel. Whoever did AFS Explorer, for whatever reason, you are amazing. I'm looking right now at what program is this for the music? PES Sound File Converter, because the music tracks in NGB are ADX. That's not a known codec. It's not MP3 or WAV, but this program can change any MP3 into ADX, and you can tell the program to loop it automatically in the game. So I find these orchestral or like kind of metal-ish Ninja Gaiden covers, like original soundtrack, the SNES music. These people do covers. And I'm like, hey, awesome. Can I borrow this and put this in the game? I think I know a good place where this would go. And everybody's like, yeah, sure, I guess. I didn't know you could do it. And I do it, and I'm just like, this is so fucking cool.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, so how does this, like, if it does, I mean, say I know nothing about this stuff, but how does this compare with, because it was quite recent, that costume looks sick, by the way, like, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, so, like, that looks amazing.
No
he's always been my favorite superhero. Like, I love Spidey, so, like, that is just
it's awesome.
Ryu and Spider-Man in the same thing. That's too cool. So, like, how does that compare with, like the recent like Hurricane Pack 1 and 2 discovery? Because when I saw your video on that, I bought because I know that I'm like a caveman when it comes to this stuff. I know nothing, but I guess I just had faith years ago. I thought someone's gonna figure this out one day. Someone like will figure out how to get these working again. Just kind of like faith in the tinkerers, and I went and ordered a modded Xbox on eBay.
Nice.
Like, I don't know, probably like 7 years ago now. Like, it was a long time ago I ordered one. When I saw your video on that, I immediately went home that weekend and thought, right, it's finally happened. Like, so I have that here with me now.
Nice.
And that's kind of a job, for one of the weekends coming up. Like, so how does that compare with, like, a costume? Like, what's the process for, unlocking HP2, like, without the old school Xbox Live to connect it to, like that stuff is really interesting, like how that's been figured out.
We've been waiting on something to happen in order to catalyze, HP1 and HP2's resurgence, and that was the Hidden Palace dump. I never heard of the Hidden Palace before, but they have all of these like preview builds and like press release builds. Like, they have a copy of Ninja Gaiden Black where everything's unlocked from the jump. All difficulties for all the missions, all the costumes, everything. And it's like, okay, if you're a publisher, you might be giving this to the media, and you used to write about games, you used to test, and you used to review games, right? Well, this sounds like something that they would give somebody like you. Like, hey, here you go. Okay. You can play everything in the game, and there's no handicap. There's no hold up. You don't need to waste time unlocking anything. You have it all.
Yeah.
And the Hidden Palace.
Don't worry about this screen,
like
guys. Just keep going. Don't worry about any of this from here on out.
Yeah.
We'll just keep going.
Yeah. So the Hidden Palace, one of their dumps was HP2, like on disc, and I had seen pictures of it on Reddit. And I was like, where is this? I bought 2 copies of the OXM 29 demo because it has NG04 on it. And
Yeah.
I bought 2 because the first one, the guy was taking too long to ship, and I was like, come on! So I found another one. And then they both arrived around the same time, and I was just like, whatever, that's fine. I hoard copies of NG anyway because I feel like they're puppies that need a home.
So do I. Yeah, I do the same thing.
I saw that picture of that disc, and it's got I want to say Nikkei and Ishtaros on it, and it says Hurricane Pack 2, and I was like, where the hell is that? I want it. And it was part of their dump. And I pulled it down, and with a little help from Dairax, another guy on my server, he found, because I was trying to open it up and extract it in the same vein of extracting, NG04 or NGB like I had been. And I would try to move it all over onto my console and launch it and play it like I would a regular game, and it wasn't working. And I was like, oh, damn, I must be missing one thing. There's something I'm missing. And he found it. And I've seen it before in the code, that when you launch the Hurricane Packs, it creates a folder called Kunai, and it puts it in the title data folder for Ninja Gaiden. And that's where it sort of builds all the DLC stuff that you see. It pulls from other places too, but the creatures and the weapons that are exclusive to the HP 2 and HP 1, they're put in that Kunai folder. And once he discovered that, he was like, yeah, you got to take this AFS and put it in that, and then it'll work. So I did it, and I was like, oh my god, thank you. And that feels like just the past year I've just been saying thank you to whoever it was that enabled me to connect the dots or to put this together. So to answer your question, if it wasn't for the Hidden Palace, we'd still be doing the famed movie trick, for lack of a better word. And unfortunately, you would just have to pick up at that first save statue, and you were kind of screwed and forced into a corner. Whoever played that, whoever famed movie is, or wherever they got it, because there's no zero karma. It's whatever karma they have up there. So if you wanted to seriously run it, well, you'd have to do a little math, I guess. But if it wasn't for that dump, we wouldn't have what we have right now. And I'm hoping with a little bit of perseverance, we can figure out how to get HP1 fully playable. Because right now, you can start it up from the beginning. It's just when you go to a Muramasa statue, it freezes. And it's probably because of the inflation in that version of the game. Oh my god, those upgrades are so expensive. And I think it's looking for something that is or isn't there, and it's just crossing its wires, so it freezes. And at first, I was like, oh well, you just do a no upgrade run. And then I think Farnham or somebody was like, yeah, you need the Hans Bar ticket though, and you get that from Muramasa. And I went, shit. So you have to talk to Muramasa once, and as soon as you do, it's going to be done. So we've been trying to figure out if there's a way to get that working. But when I saw your reaction to HP2, I was like, well, maybe I won't try so hard on HP1 because
the HP2 Karma run is like the only thing I never got to do. But that's like the one thing that I never had time to do. Because HP1, that reminds me, Weeb, did you see the HP1 run that me and Al did commentary for?
Yeah.
It's a couple of years old now.
No, I watched it.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Don't you wish Seria was here to watch that again? Or, to see that? And
Yep, I mean, he laid the groundwork for a lot of the original techniques and stuff. He was good.
Now, Weibull's, you were in the top 10, right, on HP2 whenever it shut down?
Yeah, I was number 9.
Nice.
That's how I got all of the swag that they sent out for that. The Ninja Dog and Master Ninja wristbands and hats and boxers and it was
pretty
cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Now
that's what HP2. Oh, sorry.
No. Go
I was just
go
gonna say, HP2. Like that was the first time I ever had played for score, and it was talking to Seria. And because he was a math major and I was a physics major, we had a lot in common, and we were into programming, and I just used to chat with him all the time, and he used to talk about scoring strategies and stuff, and I just thought, oh, this is cool. It's like, I mean, it's an optimization problem, and with the milking the intercepts and all that, and balancing it against the time bonus and stuff, that totally geeked geeked me out. So I was like, I played it nonstop for like the duration of that tournament, and just to get into to the top 10. And once I got 9, I was like, oh, that's good. Like I'm not as hardcore as JTB and you guys. Like you guys like to
well, that was before
work
us.
out every
that was before us. So you're looking at Captain Tuttle and Pure Grunt, and what was his name? Deep Blue was up there, and
Deep Blue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I do want to give a shout out to Weibull760, because on our commentary videos that JTB and I do, when we give out the chapter times and kills required to get your 100,000, everybody can say thank you to Weibull760, because he's the one who solved that little problem. And he's like, oh, it's just a simple math problem. You find the slope of this, and I said, you know what, just write it down.
Yep.
And
so, I remember that. That was fun.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
And
no, absolutely.
the whole community.
No, it was cool.
You. Yeah, it's.
I remember when we made that post, like we needed to get just 2 times from every chapter that didn't quite meet the bonus, so I could do a linear regression on it and calculate the slope and intercept. And it was cool to get everyone was all into it, and everyone went out and played each chapter, and you guys built up all those times, and then I just put it in a spreadsheet, and there it was.
One of the things that we were worried about back then is did it round up on the time, or did it round down? And apparently, it rounds down. We found that out. If the chapter time limit we thought was 18 minutes, it's actually 17:59. That was just kind of a guess back then, but now we know it is 17:59.
Yeah, and that was because of that HP1 run that I did. It was chapter 8, if I remember rightly. I finished on 18 minutes, and that failed the time bonus on the first run. And I thought, oh damn, okay, so I need to be 1 second faster. Yeah. But hearing the thing there, what Guilty said about HP1 not making it to Muramasa, part of me kind of likes that, because I only really want to redo chapter 1 to see what score I could get with the shuriken trick. I don't really want to have to redo the entire run again.
Well, you only
that would be awesome, though.
I mean, honestly, knowing me, if it can be done like properly and I can redo chapter 1, like I'll look at my score and think, man, let's redo the whole run. Like, let's redo it. Like, yeah,
we could all have a big recording session again and talk about everything.
There's always missed points, but yeah, HP2, I'm chomping at the bit to do that, because I never got to Karma run that properly before old Xbox Live went down. Can anyone remember what the actual record is? Because I know 5 million was kind of like the top. That was like the top kind of level of score for HP2. Like, I think there was only a handful of people, that had broken 5 mil.
It was Captain Tuttle, Pure Grunt, and another guy who was also lived in Australia. They were the only 3 people, and I think it was just like 5 million and like 46 or 48.
Yeah, it was just over, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it wasn't much over 5 mil.
Yeah. Breaking 5 million was tough.
Yeah, everything had to go right, and I'm glad Captain Tuttle finally made some videos to show his strategy, because everybody was kind of wanting to know. And but yeah, back then, when the community started, and going back to Weibull's modded Xbox back in the day, how he started all this, he hosted the videos before YouTube and Iberian side, and I know we're getting all off track now, but I mean, this all goes in with the modding thing, and we've talked about it a little bit before. Yeah, but it is some good history, especially now that we have Weibull, on here. So I think the community, again, appreciates what you did, and I bet you never thought in a million years a modded Xbox would lead to, what it did with Iberian side. And if think about it, if your modded Xbox could handle all that stuff, maybe Brian wouldn't have said, hey, we need to make our own site. Just download it off your Xbox.
Yeah, I know. I wish I would have kept all those videos, because those were the oldest ones that we had. So they probably would look terrible, and you wouldn't even be able to see half of the things. It's like a mash of pixels. But no, it was amazing, like how awesome the community was, and just how much like it impacted my life, like how much time I spent going on the forums and talking to everybody, and just I was into games before, but never even close to what NG was, and never bothered getting into a community and all of that. So it meant a lot back then.
Yeah, I was the same. Like, always kind of been into games, but like NG was definitely a standout. You know, like going on to, that's what made me want to get a PC and, you know, my own PC. And I got my first capture card for NG04 and then like NGB.
Yeah.
And it was just, you know, like Iberians was like stop one every time you went on a computer. Like, that was the first place you went to.
Yep.
Like, that was your homepage.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, just every time.
So
pretty much just got an Xbox for that game specifically too, because if not, I would probably not even have an Xbox. I would play on PC.
You know, that's interesting how this game is bringing us all together on this. You know, I hated it at first. I've said it in other videos, and I sold it. But it wasn't until some college guys said, "You said get it." And but Guilty. Now your modding level is. Do you do this for all the games, or did NGB say, or maybe did it have any effect on how you looked at modding, or you wanted to mod this more because of Ninja Gaiden Black, or your love for the game?
Yeah, it didn't stop there. Once I found some of these things for NGB, I was like, well, I wonder what else I could do. And then it took me a second to think, oh, NG04 probably has the same architecture, and it does. So I could go in NG04 just as easily. Then I started looking at NG2, and I would go into the Zentex forums and be like, hey, I'm just curious what all's out there. And there is a trainer for that. And it's easier to use the trainer to give yourself like maxed out incendiaries and a shit ton of ninpo slots, because you just do the trainer, and you've got to kill the Xbox 360 header, because that's what the trainer was made for. You pull your save off the 360, put it on your computer, make your changes, put it back, and not XEMU, Xenia is it doesn't look for that head, doesn't want that header. It wants to start at a certain spot deeper in the save file. So once I found that out, I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, this will make Master Ninja easy. I can keep that secret to myself.
Until now.
Yeah, until now. I just outed myself. But no, I for Farnham's sake, I will try to beat Master Ninja on NG2 the way it was meant to. But it's just, I don't have enough mental energy for that right now.
It's draining.
Oh my god, that's what it's gonna entail. And that's how the modding journey kind of went. I would look up NG2 stuff, and somebody did make a extractor, and I was able to like kind of pull Ninja Gaiden 2 apart, and found out that using Gnosis or Noesis, I don't know how you really pronounce it, but it's a model viewer, and I could pull up NG2 models, all of them, and they looked great, and I could export them and open them in Blender, and I could pose them in Blender, and I could just do all this crazy stuff with it. And then I looked at Razor's Edge, and Icy Lightning was like, hey man, on the Discord, he was like, hey man, I see you do some things in the other games. Here's a list of just a bunch of hex codes you can punch in here, here, and here to unlock these costumes, and unlock all the skills and everything in Chapter Challenge, so you can just start up like in God mode. And I went, well, gee, thank you, buddy. And with the Master Collection, the Master Collection is almost as easy. If you can get Special K working, that's like an injection front end. You can pull the textures down, and then you can inject textures back in, and you could change up pretty much whatever you want, kind of on the fly. It's just, you're limited by your own creativity, I guess.
So, one of the things, just to let people know, he gave me 3 chapters to do, and I said, oh, well, that might be a little too long. I actually might put in that chapter and add that before we even, because we still have some more stuff to do here. And everybody's okay? Everybody's still good to go?
Oh, yeah, I'm great.
Yeah, man, absolutely,
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll probably do that at this point, and people, I'll put a little title screen to add that to it, because now my question is, how did you start? Did your military training, or did you just always do this from a kid, get you into what you know? Because, I mean, all that stuff went by so fast, and it was just amazing in the detail. And I will say that it was weird for me in a way to see Ryu just standing there while you're manipulating him, and because I just always thought of him from the gaming aspect. That he's a badass and he can do what he wants to do, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, you want a pink outfit or a fork or something like that. You could add whatever you wanted to do, and it just it kind of changed. It makes you look at the game a little bit differently now. It's what made you get into this?
I mean, I was calm when I was in the military, but I didn't do like computer programming or anything. All of this was it's because of my other favorite Xbox game, Atogi. When I learned how to mod the Xbox and I finally got around to modding that thing and getting the hard drive and all that stuff, I put Atogi in, and then I connected to it over FTP, and I started pulling all the files down. And that game is not wrapped up or archived the same way NGB is. .dds is it's called Direct Draw Service. It's a pretty common image file type, I guess, enough so that you can Google a bunch of different DDS viewers. And so I'm pulling files off of Togi, and I'm just double clicking on them, and I'm opening up these images. I'm like, oh shit, I've never seen that item or that graphic in this resolution before. It's always very, very small on my TV screen, and I'm looking at all the different textures for the weapons and for Raiko and for the other enemies that you fight. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. I wonder if I could do this with Ninja Gaiden. So I put Ninja Gaiden in, and it's like AFS files just as far as the eye can see. And I was like, what the hell is a .afs? This is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. This sucks. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. And I'm telling Dietrich what I'm doing, and he's like, dude, what'd be cool is if you changed Ryu's black jumpsuit to white and his scarf to blue. I just think that'd look awesome. And I was like, yeah, that would look awesome. I unfortunately do not know how the hell I could ever do that.
No.
But then I just started digging. I just kept digging in on it, and that was how I found the Ninja of the Future was in NGB this entire time. And that was how I found that the Intercept sprite, the picture of the scroll was in there. The text for it was still in there. There's items in there that don't exist, like Ashes of the Holy Spirit. There's a reference to that as an item, but there's no image for it. There's no description for it. It's just, it was something they were going to do, and then they never did it.
I think it's the holy water of NGB.
Yeah, I was thinking that'd be so cool. I mean, I don't think we'd ever really be able to do it now, but I would love to know like what ended up on the cutting room floor for original NG. Yeah. It's like, did they plan like maybe there was more weapons that we didn't get? Because you think of NGB to NG2, like the weapons are so much more kind of individualized in NG2. You've got things like the Kusarigama and the scythe. There's kind of nothing like that in Black.
Have you seen that old one, the footage of the beta, I think, of NG, where they have like a different aqueduct and such? Have you ever seen
that? Was from like
that,
a Tokyo Game Show or something, right? Wasn't Itagaki there?
Yeah. It's very old footage. It's pre NGO4 footage, pretty much.
Oh wow!
I've never seen
it. It looks very different. I wish I'll try to find it because it's on my Discord somewhere. Somebody posted it, but when I watched it, even the animation of Gleaming Blade, the way you charge for Ultimate Technique, the animation is different. It's pretty interesting.
The menu's
actually
different. It wasn't called, the menu's in English, but it wasn't called the Dragon Sword. It was called Ryuken, which I think is I think in Ryuken in Japanese means dragon sword, or I think Ryu means dragon, and I don't know. But yeah, that beta, that footage it's different. It makes you, and it begs the same question, and that was what I was thinking when I went into some of these files to start digging. There was supposed to be like another Ninpo, I think called Mirror, and there is an actual like symbol for it, like the icon in the top corner of the HUD, and it's purple with these 3 vertical white lines, and they're sort of stylized, but that's kind of what it looks like. And I see a reference to like a Ninpo scroll because of the way Inferno and Inazuma's numbered. I see this other one, and it's called Mirror, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm watching like SNES Ninja Gaiden videos, and you get that doppelganger that can follow you and do what you do. So it makes me wonder if they had this idea, this far-fetched idea of like having a ninpo that generates like a ghost Ryu that could distract enemies, and maybe that was what fed into them just being like, you know what, just do smoke bombs. That's what you want to do is way too complicated. Just do smoke bombs.
Yeah.
By the way, I found that that video. If you want, I'll share it with you guys on Discord.
Well, yeah, do that, add it, and then what I will do is I will put that link into the information, the description of the video. And so
it's from 7 minutes to 21 minutes.
Okay.
It was E3 2002.
That's right.
1 year before.
And if y'all have any other things you want me to add in the description, like your anybody's YouTube channel or Twitch channel or Discord or something, just add it in here, and then I'll put that in the link so other people can have access. Because I know people have asked that do they have YouTube channels, and people want to learn more about the people who are doing these NG talks. So just feel free to add that when we're all done.
Sure.
So whenever you were going through the other one, and I know you said you sped it up, how long does, changing that costume, how long did that actually take you to do?
Maybe an hour.
Is it something that whenever you say, I want to do this, this next hour is going to be fun because I can be creative, or you're like, okay, I've done it so much it's kind of boring, but I just want to do something different?
Well, let's see. I have a list of things that I've been wanting to do, so let me give you my initial reaction. Let's see. Costume mods. Pepsi Man. Yes, I want to sit down and devote an hour to making Pepsi Man Ryu. Somebody wanted the Joe Hayabusa armor in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, but in black, and I'm like, all right, I can do that. I've already done like a legendary White Lion where I changed his black jumpsuit to white. And then somebody else really likes red. I forget who it was in the Discord, but it was really, I don't know, they want like a deep red, not like a bright neon red. So I wrote down a legendary red sparrow in keeping with the bird theme. So looking at these, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind giving an hour or so into doing this, especially Pepsi Man. That sounds awesome.
Now, you got a chance to meet with the voice of Mirai. Didn't I see that on your channel?
And OG Ryu, Justin Gross, yes.
Oh, wow. How did that happen?
I looked him up and sent them an email.
It was that easy?
It was. I looked up who did the voice cast. And so Neil Ross was the voice of Mirai, and he's been doing voice acting for a long time. And I looked up Justin Gross. I always thought he was the best Ryu. If I was going to play any Ninja Gaiden in English, which is rare now because I'm just accustomed to Japanese dub, it would be 04 or Black. And just because Justin Gross, I think, does a really good job of hitting what I thought was like peak Ryu, of just this controlled, disciplined, I am only going to speak if I absolutely have to because I have fiends to kill kind of character. And I did the same thing. I looked him up and I just was like, hey, I'm a big fan of this game, and I just kind of wanted to see if we could talk about it for a little while. And both of them are like, sure, these are sort of blips on our radar, but yeah, well, we can talk about it. We can talk about voice acting. Neil had just put out a book, pretty much chronicling, like a memoir chronicling his life. He was in, I think, the Navy for a little while, and he just has been all over the place, radio, TV. His voice is everywhere. He had a voice in FF7 Remake. I think he had a voice in Doom 3. He's the colonel, I guess, that like the main colonel that your character reports to. He's like, Marine, get your ass over here or something. Like, as soon as you start up the game, he says Marine. Oh, that's his voice. Back to the Future Part 2, which is my favorite Back to the Future. His is the voice of the Biff Tannen Museum. When Marty goes back to alternate 1985, he walks up, that's his voice. So he's done movies, film, which is the same thing. I'm being repetitive. Games. He's done a lot. And Justin, I learned, he was like the voice of Saturn, the car company, for a good while.
Oh, wow.
That
is cool.
He's bounced around. He was, I think, Arthas is his name in Warcraft or Warcraft 3. And he did Ryu, but when it comes to games, that's pretty much it. And I would love to talk to Rachel, but I think that's Tara Strong, and she's done like 1,000 different roles, so I'm just going to pump the brakes on that. But
Yeah.
You never know. You know?
You don't. She did tweet something early this year, and it was like a graphic of all these different characters that she gave a voice to. Rachel was not there, and so I commented, and I was like, "Hey, where's Rachel? Hunter and Slayer of Fiends?" And I got nothing. So,
Oh wow. Now I did want to say something. Really, Back to the Future 2 is your favorite one? Really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I quote that, and I sit down and watch it whenever it comes on cable. If it's on, I stop what I'm doing for the day.
That one does have batter up in it, which is like maybe one of the most quotable lines in Back to the Future, to be fair, you know.
It's because of you and those Arnold Schwarzenegger MP3s and everything. Like, okay, I got to do that. And I'm going to be taking clips. I'm taking that one. I'm taking batter up. I'm calling it.
And also, if you never say batter up when you do the UFX hold Y string, you're just not. What are you doing?
That's such a great sound.
Yeah.
What are you doing if you never say that to yourself while you're doing that move?
Hey, if you get a chance, send me those links to those clips, and again, I'll add that in the info section so people can hear that. Because I knew about Mirai, but I didn't know about Ryu Hayabusa. I think people would love to hear that, or they could just go and search your channel.
They could.
By the way, I have a quick question for Guilty. I have a quick question. Did you pick his rank the other time about what we talked about the boss rush thing, or not really?
Oh, I asked him a few things. What is it? What was it that you were asking?
Okay, so the idea that I told JTB and BigAL, I'm not sure it would be doable because that's something else entirely, but eventually, do you think someone could make some kind of boss rush system in, well, we'll say the Sigma, for example, because I know an NGB would probably be way more complicated and similar to the Alma portal, if you want, you know, the Awaken Alma portal that you get to from Tyrant to the village and etc. But each time it would teleport you in front of the location of the next boss that you just defeat. So you would start in the dojo on Mirai, and then, you know, you defeat Mirai, you have the portal that appears, and then boom, teleports you in front of the bridge of Masakado, and so
That
on.
would be
so
cool.
you can
That would be
just do
cool.
a boss rush.
That and
you know?
and a randomizer, I think, would be like the coolest things.
Yeah.
To inject a little bit of
Yeah.
life. That's beyond my scope. That's beyond my capability. But there's plenty of people in the Discord that, like Fiend Busa, he's been coming up with these DLIM mods for NGS2, and he's been working some freaking magic with programming. So if we ever get
Farnham talked about it in the stream, and he did say he's doing some great work with that. So that's cool that there's other people out there doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Fiend Boost is up for a NG talk as well, so that'll be a lot of fun.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's
nice.
doing great work. I'll be happy to see that one.
So before we get to so we've talked a lot about the NG side of it. Anybody want to ask any more questions or make any more comments before we get to the talk side of it?
Not really, because I know if we do it, we'll extend for a
Yeah.
long
Go
time.
for a
I mean,
long
if other people want to, I know I don't mind. I'm here. I have time. But
I probably have about a half an hour.
I would ask just for HB2 on a scale of 1 to 10, like how hard is it to get that up and running, like on a modded Xbox?
Not at all. Once you pull
that's
the
good.
files and you transfer it over, it's good to go every time.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
So Weibull, how long did you
I got
say
up
you
about
had?
half an
About
hour,
half
and
an
then
hour?
I gotta head out.
Right. Okay, so here we go. So, Guilty, real quick. So you were, we're going to go through some pictures of his. This is going to be picture number 1. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so
That's-
let me make sure I can get this off here. Oh, okay. I got to.
What is that beverage, by the way?
I think that's a carton of Minute Maid orange juice.
Nice.
That's what I thought I was going to say. It's probably some OJ or something, right?
How big
It
is
looks
that? A
like
gallon
that.
jug?
Yeah, I think it is. My buddy Georgia took that picture, and I think that's one of the first pictures my wife saw of me when we first started talking. Because old sentence incoming, we met off MySpace.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been together.
I like the Ninja
14 years.
Gaiden poster.
And that's why it's here.
that's
That is
awesome.
why
Yeah.
it is on this talk, because that was my not EB Games, might have been GameStop, one of the two, but that was the pre-order bonus or whatever I got for buying Ninja Gaiden from the store. It came with that wall scroll, and I carried it with me everywhere. This picture was when I was at my first duty station in Shreveport, Louisiana, and that's my little crappy dorm room. And I think I'm 20 in this picture.
What branch were you in?
Air Force.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know where that wall scroll ended up going. It was lost to time because I've moved like 5 or 6 times since then. But I got on eBay one day about a couple months or so ago, and I found another one for sale.
Oh, nice.
So I bought it, and I have that same, not the exact same because that one is gone somewhere, but I have the wall scroll once again up here, and I'm looking right at it, and Ryu's just like, yeah, man.
Nice. One thing I wish that there was more for of NG is like NG merch, like official like NG merch, because there's like hardly anything really.
Yeah, there's some statues out there, but they're hella expensive, and I don't even know if they were like.
And I don't think they're that great either from what I've seen.
Well, my daughter bought me the Ryu one, and I think she paid like close to $200 for it, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, there's
like,
a couple of them.
The detail on it, the kunais come out of his leg holders and everything. Like it's so awesome. Yeah, and the sword, you can remove the sword from his hand, but it's really high quality. I don't know about. I know there's some other ones out there, but this one was really cool.
I would pay that for like a really good like Ryu statue for sure. Like,
there's a guy in my Discord who's 3D printing a Kasumi statue, and he's putting up updates of him putting it together. And I'm like, name your price. How much? Price? And he's like, dude, I don't know if I could put a price on this. And I'm like, yeah, you can. My wife will charge the shit out of me for this big-breasted Kasumi figure. I don't care.
Just do another one after. That's it. Sell me this one.
Does anybody else have any like Ninja Gaiden posters? Or I know Weibull don't ever, no matter if you move whatever, you've got to keep the stuff that you've won. But
I'm never getting rid of them.
Yeah. I would. But does anybody else?
I got that.
No, I don't. But I wanted to buy some at some point. I don't know. Does any of you guys know like that site Display?
Yes.
Display.com. Well, they have like they have some of these. I mean, the only two that I think are cool are the one from Ninja Gaiden 2 where he's in that like kind of graveyard and he holds the side up, and then he has the claw in the other end, and
nice.
that one is pretty cool. But the rest, it's not like there's that many choices, but if I had to get one, I would probably get that one.
I don't know if you can still get it. Anyone who's seen my stream recently, I have this is a custom one made by someone on Redbubble. That's what that Ryu poster is in the background. Of him like casting Piercing Void, and because I just kind of looked at that on a whim a few months ago. Actually, I thought, man, I wonder if anyone's made any like NG swag on Redbubble. Like, I'll have a quick look. And I found that, and the same person I think has also made T-shirts for it. And I thought, I just take my money, like just give me them right now.
Behind you.
And I don't know if you can still get them, but if you can, like they're worth looking at.
Okay, so I know, man, we could sit there and talk about all this stuff forever, but I know we got a time limit here. Trust me, we tell people all the time it goes way faster than what you think it's going to go because it's just so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
So, picture number 2, explain this.
This is me and Dietrich at the Jungle Gyms International Supermarket in Fairfield, Ohio. I think we're both 18 in this shot, and we just found some sombreros and we were screwing around.
Sombrero.
But this is after high school, and it just shows how long we've been friends. We go back 2002, I think, 2002, 2003. We had French class together, and it just ever since, we've been borderline inseparable. And like I said earlier, me and him in the apartment. I would normally play Ninja Gaiden. He would watch, and he would try to talk me off the ledge whenever I got super pissed. But I think like he had some sort of gross like satisfaction in seeing me suffer. So other times he'd just be like, "Do it again. You got this, man."
Those streams of where you guys play NG together are like by far my favorite ones to watch.
He never wants to play. He's
so
just
entertaining.
Like, maybe NGB. He's like, yeah, I'm more comfortable with this. But if I try to offer him anything else like NG2, he's just like, what the hell am I doing? I do not know.
Yeah.
There's bumpers. How do I use the bumpers? Like, I don't think he's ever had an Xbox. So his only exposure to Xbox was through me.
Well, I tell you, having those lifelong friends like that, I just went back to my hometown of Paris, Texas last week and got to visit with some guys that I've known since 6th grade. And we're still good friends. We don't get a chance to visit as often as we'd like, but having those lifelong friends is really special. I'm glad y'all still y'all keep in touch pretty regularly now, right?
Well, now that I'm out, I'm just an hour 10 minutes away from where I grew up, and that's where he went back. So yeah, he's able to come up every other weekend, except this weekend. I'm like, no, I'm resting.
We've got this. So going on to picture number 3.
This is in London. This was on my second deployment. I had a layover in London on my way to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and I saw that driving down the street, and I was like, what the hell is that doing here? So I just snapped a quick picture, and I was curious if JTB had any reactions.
No, although I have to admit, as soon as I saw that, the number plates, that's license plates for you US people, immediately I was like, wait, that's UK, because that yellow and black number plate, it's instantly recognizable as UK number plate. I did wonder what the story behind the picture was there, but
well, what about the Jack Daniels?
Jack Daniels.
That is just, what can I say, man? It's 99 times out of 100, the people that would get into a black cab are probably, half in the bottle at least. They're not going to notice that. They don't care.
It's interesting that they, the rest of the Daniels is not there, but at the bottom of the door it says crafted with care. So they did take time to put part of it on there, and not the whole thing. So that's a cool pit. And you got a chance to go all over the place, and then the picture number 4.
Mm-hmm. JTB probably knows where that is.
Yep, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, I passed through there, and I was in London for, God, I think my layover was 11 hours, and the ride on the tube almost took a whole hour just to get from London Heathrow all the way out there. And then I just started walking around, and I'd always heard that weather in London or weather in Britain sucked, but that was just a great day. It was a good day to walk around and just see everything.
What time of year was it?
This was May. May, on or about May 15th, 16th.
Yeah, London's not too bad, to be fair, because it is a little bit further south. It's mainly sort of the whereabouts I am, and if you go north, if you went to Manchester, you'd sing a different tune. That's where the weather is really bad up north. So no, I mean that's really cool. It's interesting that it took you that long. Usually the underground is super quick. So
it was long. I remember it taking almost an hour, and I factored that in on my way back. I went through Westminster. I went by. There were these military guys doing drill on the other side of a fence. I saw the bridge and the Ferris wheel and Big Ben and all that. Mm-hmm. And then I stayed in a little microtel just to get a nap for a little bit, and it was an experience, and it was just the layover.
Yeah, I mean that's really cool though. Yeah, that's making the most of a layover.
I know, Weibull, you like to travel. Have you been to London before?
No, I would love to. That's one of the places I want to get to, but I've never been there. I think Melissa has, though.
Okay. Well, that's something that I know Shelly and I would like to do one day too.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, because now I would have an excuse to meet JTB, Jolly, Seraphim also is there. There's a couple of people there that I
Dark
know.
Kazuki, Eternal Rapture. There's a few people that
Andrew actually. Yeah, Eternal Rapture. Yeah.
He's all grown up now.
Yeah. So going on to number 5. Sorry for rushing it. So what is
this? Yeah, this was I got a TDY, a 3-week trip to Honolulu. There's an Air Force base out there, and I got picked to go down there for a joint exercise with the Aussies. And my job was just to make sure that their radio networks stayed online. And we started off doing 24s, and then the NCO in charge was like, all right, we don't need to be here 24 hours a day. So he cut one of the shifts out, and I was on the overnight shift. So he cut my shift out, and then me and another guy, we just alternated. So we had every other day off. So one of the days I had off, I scheduled a helicopter tour of Oahu. And that was me getting off the chopper, and I just have so many pictures. I think I might have one of them might be included.
Yeah. So number 6 is.
Yes, that's one of them. So that's from the helicopter. That's I think it's Waikiki. That's Diamond Head up there. I went up Diamond Head a few times. It was a great, and that's July. That's July 2015, and it was everything you'd imagine Hawaii would be. I think there was one cloudy day, and I was there for 3 weeks.
Oh,
well,
nice.
Let me tell you, July 2015, I was on a road trip with, I don't think JTB was able to make it, or did you make it that year? No,
2015 was, 2015. I remember that was the like crazy layover. Like I had to do Evo like on a crazy budget.
Yeah,
that was I was just in like the US for Evo that year.
And July 15, I don't think we got a chance to visit you that year either, did we, Weibull? Because I know we visited like 3 times in 5 years or something. You got a chance to come up
in 2015.
July of 2. I don't think we got a chance to meet that time. But
I don't think
it's just interesting though. While you're flying and doing all that stuff, halfway across the world, or not halfway, but a few thousand miles away. Me, Fayer, and Shelly and JTB could have been meeting in Vegas.
Yeah.
At the same time at that point. So it's kind of cool. So going on to picture number 7, and the reason I'm saying this is it helps me timestamp these pictures because I have to add them in manually. So picture number 7 right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and explain your Scientology here.
That's my wife Tara, and neither of us are Scientologists. I'm just going to put that out there right now. She's just fascinated.
I mean, people.
Scientology has an interesting reputation, and in her words, she's just into cults. Yep. This stuff kind of fascinates her. So I got my bachelor's degree online, and the school is based in San Diego. Oh. And it was my first college degree. Neither of my parents have college degrees. My grandma got hers when she was like 57. So I'm like 28, I think, at this time, or 30, and I got my degree, and I was like, hell yeah, I want to go to the graduation. I want to go to the commencement. This is cool. So we flew to San Diego for a few days, and LA wasn't too far away. So we drove down to LA, and we went past the stars and
Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah, the Chinese theater. I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Theater.
Well, it used to be Mann's Chinese.
I think it's still the Mann's Chinese Theater. I think so.
Okay. Grom or something didn't start.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It used to be called. And while we were out there, we looked up. Where's the Big Blue, like the Gold Center or whatever the hell it's called, the Big Blue Scientology building, and it's on something L. Ron Hubbard Drive, and I was like, of course it is. Well, let's go check it out.
It's on Fountain Drive here.
We wanted, and then L. Ron Hubbard is just down the road to the right a little
probably
bit.
Probably the other side, yeah.
And I was like, let's take some pictures, and she was like, okay, keep your eye out because we don't want to get roped into a conversion conversation.
Check your thetan level.
Like, oh, you don't want to know, like you don't want to know if we're suppressive peoples or not. I mean, come on.
You need to flip the tables on them and say, no, let me tell you about Ninja Gaiden, man. Let me tell you.
That's a whole other religion. Let me tell you about the God of Tyron. Let me tell you about the BigAL Emperor.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'll definitely get them. It's its own religion in itself. Exactly. The game is. So y'all just took that and then just kind of left and.
Yeah, we took a few. We took a selfie of us making faces like we were scared, like they were watching us, and they were ready to just be like, "Hey, come here, take a personality test. Come here right now." We were just anticipating that. So as soon as we took our pictures, we were like, "All right, this was fun," because there's a neighborhood just right there. Like I would hate to like walk out my house every morning to go to work and see that giant ass blue building. Oh, yeah. I would lose my shit.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we took our pictures and we left. We went to the Hard Rock. And just had a good old time in L.A. Traffic was not as bad as we thought it would be.
Oh, well. Yeah, well, you did have a good vacation then.
Yes, I think we did.
Going on to number 8, so I think these next few pictures of you in the military, and I just want to say thank you for your service. I think it's very commendable, and sounds like you've had a pretty interesting ride in the military doing what you've done. Do you still keep in contact with these guys?
None of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know that, so I'm on the far left. I'm very tan, and I'm very much 19. This is the day we graduated tech training. So my first job was visual imagery and intrusion detection systems. So think of like ADT, but for the military, like infrared, microwaves, and CCTV.
All of that at 19 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
The guy to my right, his name was Owens, but without a W, so we called him Owens because that's how it was spelled.
Oh.
And then I think Martinez, you can probably guess who Martinez is. I think, and then the guy in the middle and the guy to the far right, I can't really remember their names, but we all just kind of went our separate ways after that. We graduated. I went to Louisiana. They went wherever the hell they all went. But yeah, that was the end of that. Very small class. We had a female and a couple other people, but they failed out. And just because it wasn't that easy. I wasn't very confident in my ability. I mean, I did enough to pass, but going to Louisiana, I was like, oh, this is going to be rough. It was different.
So what made you decide to get into that field? Is this something you tested into, or they do?
I tested high on electronic. When I took the ASVAB, I tested higher on electronics than all the other ones, than like mechanical or anything. And so my options were sort of limited. I could not pick a specific job, but I could pick an aptitude. So I went in open electronic. And then when I was in basic, they gave me a list, and they were like, all right, pick your top, I want to say 5, maybe 10 career fields that I wanted to get into. And vids was like number 3. I think ground radio was number 2. I really wanted to go to space systems, because space systems, that school was in Vandenberg Air Force Base, California.
Nice.
And I really wanted to go to Aviano, Italy for my first base. And I really had this romanticized vision of how my career would pan out. But instead of California, I went to Mississippi. And instead of Italy, I went to Louisiana, which is a little bit more like Mississippi.
So, yeah, a little bit culture shock there. So, going on to number 9, where are you here?
I am in Dubai. Not Dubai, Abu Dhabi. So, there is my first deployment was to the United Arab Emirates. This was back in Christmas time, 2007. And we organized a little paintball trip. And there was like 8 or 10 of us went downtown Abu Dhabi, and we just played paintball. I got shot in the face wearing goggles.
Oh, wow.
I had never played paintball before, and I was just running around shooting. I popped my head over cover and just caught a paintball right between the eyes, and it threw me down, and I was just like, holy shit, I just got bodied. Who shot that? It was fun, but I just had never done it before, and it was a good time. I was over there for 4 months, just doing crap, but almost every weekend we try to go out into town, and it was a common theme. You know, whenever we would see each other, like pass each other coming in or out of the dorms, we'd be like, my friend, you want a Mountain Dew? Because that's what they would say to us whenever we would go downtown, you know, and go past the souks. And they would call us my friend, and they would offer us Cokes and Mountain Dew, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm a sucker for Mountain Dew. What are you trying to sell me? Oh, that's a really convincing looking Rolex. I'll buy it.
Right. Were you ever worried for your life or anything, or nervous, or were you just like any other place? Oh,
we did see somebody. We thought we were being tailed once, and because I mean we're pretty conspicuous downtown, but UAE, it's a pretty diverse area. It's a little bit more liberal compared to like Saudi or Kuwait maybe. And we did kind of get a little worried once, because we thought we kept seeing the same car like following us, because we hopped between a few different shops. We thought we kept seeing the same car, but after a while it disappeared, so we kind of let our guard down a little bit. But I was more scared when I first got to Riyadh, because I got picked up by 2, like they were I don't even know if they were DOD. I think they were some other 3-letter, but they gave me this big briefing when we were getting in their armored vehicle, that there was a handgun in the glove compartment with a GPS, and if something happened to the vehicle and this and that and whatever, and I'm like, what the hell are y'all talking about? I'm not, dude, what? No, don't tell me that. And we got to the base just fine. Riyadh was another trip that was pretty fun, but no, I never had to really worry about too much when I was over there.
So going on to number 10.
Yep, I'm into rifles. That's mine. That's a AR-15 that's using a piston system as opposed to a conventional gas block. So when you fire, there's like this big expulsion of gas out from under the front iron sight, and it pushes a piston rod back, and that's what charges the bolt carrier group and reloads the next round. It's a lot cleaner than a conventional gas-powered system because that gas is full of carbon, a lot of debris. But the piston system is a little bit more expensive because you've got more moving parts. And I got into that when I was in Mississippi. It's all the same. It's the South. I got in that down there because I more or less had an arms dealer that I worked with. He was really into guns. He had a couple bug-out bags for him and his wife and a bunch of stuff. And just one day I was like, so, tell me about guns. Sell me one. And he was just like, all right. So we started talking, and he helped me build that one and put it together. So I'd go to the range a lot, and it was so easy just to go down to the range and shoot and get a concealed carry with my military ID. And Mississippi was just such a free state when it came to that kind of thing. So I
you are in the South.
Yeah, they don't have much of an issue down there with some of that stuff.
So going to the next does this picture right here, number 11, is what got you into guns, or is this just you already into it? But what made you get into this specific part of the? Is this just all training right here?
So this is honor guard training, and for veterans and active duty and retirees, when they pass, they are entitled to military honors at their funeral. And depending on how long you serve, whether you separate or retire, that dictates the kinds of honors that you are given at your service. And so we're training firing party, and you only get firing party if you do 20 years or more and you retire, or you die on active duty. If you die on active duty, you get a whole big thing. And this is just part of the ceremonial, like rendering a salute while on firing line. And I said earlier that I wasn't too confident in my ability as a technician, like doing the electronics stuff and everything. Well, a position at the base honor guard opened up, excuse me, and there was an NCO in my shop. It was like, hey, we're looking for volunteers to go do honor guard. And I was like, I'll do it. I have no idea what it is, but can't be any worse than this. So I'll check it out. And that was like the one thing I was really good at. I did honor guard. God, my voice. I now know what you're talking about, JTB. How you talk like longer than usual, and you're just like, wow, my voice.
When you're not used to it, yeah. I mean, you can probably still hear it in my voice from yesterday's stream. Like,
I'm over here going from 35 to 12 years old and back. But yeah, this was just training for firing party, and when I did it in Louisiana, I did it for 18 months, and usually it's just 12-month commitment, but I threw on another 6 months just because I just love doing it. I think I did like maybe 90 to 100 funerals. I did 20 other details like parades or retirement ceremonies, and this was when I was I went back to Mississippi as an instructor, and it was my squadron's turn to send up a body, and I was like, I have experience, I'll go do it. And so this was just them training us on firing party.
Well, this next picture leads to what you're talking about with the funeral. How do you stay so calm and somber, or is it non-emotional, or it's
you have to be expressionless when you're doing this, and if anybody is going to show emotion, it's going to be the family and the next of kin, and that was my mission. It sounds kind of grotesque, but I was determined to do such a good job, and that my team would do such a good job honoring whoever it was that had passed, that everybody would just be touched in some way. And the men were tough. Like if it was a brother, a son, it was tough getting them to crack. But usually when I would speak, and that's a big, like, that position's called NCO of pallbearing. That's like the leader of the entire detail. So not only are you organizing and leading everybody else in the flag fold, you're the one who presents it to the next of kin when everything is done. So you have to say this speech on behalf of the United States Air Force, the Department of Defense, and a grateful nation. We offer you our nation's flag for the faithful and dedicated service rendered by your loved one. And then you'd stand up and do a 3-second salute. I would judge the family and the service. If they were very religious, I would add, may God be with you in your hour of need. And when you're down the South, I got a lot of amens when they heard that, because I knew who the crowd was, and I knew what was appropriate, not appropriate. And it was usually when I was putting that flag in their hands that's when they would break. And this was Chief Pepitone. He was up here at Right Pat for a good while. This was my last detail when I was at Keesler, when I was in Mississippi. This is my last detail with that crew. My year was up, and I think a little while after I crossed over from the enlisted side to the officer side. So this was the last honor guard detail I ever did. And this gentleman was brought in on a horse-drawn caisson. I mean, because he was coming down from a higher elevation than a hearse, we had 8 people do the pall bearing instead of 6. It was the most unique, most different detail I had done, and I've done a lot of these. I've probably done close to 200.
So do you feel honored to be a part of that, or sad, or?
Absolutely, and I try to convey that to my airmen that, you have a birthday every year, but this is the one funeral that this person is going to have. So you better do them justice. You better do it right. You better do that flag fold the best you can. You don't show pain. I mean, we get double wide caskets, we get heavy caskets sometimes, and this was a long carry coming down from a wagon behind a horse. So we knew we were in for it that day, but everybody put their game face on, and just everybody was on the same page. Like, this is a big deal. There's a big family here, a big audience, and you're putting on a show for them to remember, this individual by. Yeah, and it was absolutely, every time I did it, it was a huge honor to me to be a part of that memory, or to be a part of their, I guess, their coping mechanism, or however they're honoring the life and service. Yeah, this is part of their grieving process, and we're a part of that. And if we can make it any easier or any better on them, well, we're gonna lay them to rest the best way possible, the way that they deserve. And I know nothing about this chief, other than the fact that he did his time and he retired. So that's all that we need to know. Oh, he's a retiree? All right, we know what we're going to do. We're going to do it damn well. And I remember we did a really good job. So I had some really good guys when I was down there doing this detail. So my fondest memories are running out there doing funerals and stuff like that, as grotesque as it may sound.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's an honorable position and much respect, and that's something that you're going to take, forever, and the family's going to remember that as well.
And they'll do it for me whenever I go in the ground. So hopefully they do a good job. Hopefully karma comes back around. And
right. Well, look, I know we need to wrap this up, because, like I said, we could go on. There's so much stuff we left on the table. And we have a lot of guests, and it's hard to get everybody to get their say in.
We could redo it though at some point in the future. That like it could be over another time. I mean, it's for me. Just let me know if there's anything. I'll be there.
Well, look, as we're wrapping up, Weibull, why don't you go first? And I mean, any final words or comments? Or you glad you did it?
No, I think this is awesome. I mean, if I didn't have to get ready to leave the house, I would totally be down to talk more. I mean, I think this is great, and I love what you guys are doing for the community. And I still play the game, and I still watch your guys' streams and videos all the time. Like, I work from home a lot during COVID, and it brings back good memories, and it's a fun time in my life when we were all super into this back on IW. So it means a lot. And
well, I was just going to say thank you for joining. I mean, I'm glad you got a chance, and hope you had a great time. Godfather, any final thing?
Same. Like I was gonna say, I didn't think I had this much, to bring to the table this time around because of what it was. But I was just very happy that you guys had me into the inside of all of Guilty's, part of his life, the modding and all of this. It was really cool. So yeah, thank you again for having me. And I always like to be in those podcasts. It's always enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm glad we've decided to do this. JTB?
I just echo what everyone has said. These are always great, and it's good that it's really cool to know that people really enjoy these. Because it's definitely it's not an entirely gameplay thing. It is more personal. So the fact that people get a kick out of listening to them is really cool.
I did get a text from Ninjilla the other day. He finally made it to California, so he's the one that kind of started this whole thing, and so his journey's from Texas back to California has just started. So I wish him well if he decides, to listen to this and hear it. Guilty, you're the man. Any final comments or words or anything you want to add before we go?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Weibull, Godfather, JTB, you, BigAL, for having me. We've been talking about doing this for a while, and I've been getting increasingly more excited as the day approached. And it exceeded my expectations. It was everything I thought it would be, and then some. It's just a lot of fun, like meeting your heroes, more or less. I tell JTB pretty much every opportunity I have, like, dude, thank you. Because of you, like, not only did I get back into this shit, like, I can play somewhat worth a damn, and I just don't ever make me play, like, alongside you, because then I'm going to look like a tool.
None of that matters. Trust me. I think I said before, the very first time that I went out to San Diego and played with Weibull and P. Saren, I never beat CG 1, 2, or 4. And so you talking about pressure there. And you know what? Those guys are still my friends. So the gameplay does not matter. The camaraderie does. And I hope that we can all get together one day and play.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
That would make a great stream too, because thinking about, I mean, it's not to get off on a tangent. I'll be quick, but when we first met up and played, that was 8 years ago now. That was a while ago. Whereas like technology now, like kind of bring a laptop and boom, like we could easily stream that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be a really good stream to do.
One mic in the middle.
Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun. That really would. Okay, guys, look, well, let's wrap this up. I know it could have gone longer. Who knows? Maybe a part 2. You never know. But it's been a lot of fun. Weibull, thanks so much for joining this time. I hope you get to do some more. It's always a lot of fun. Godfather, thank you for joining. It's and showing your interest in wanting to do this. JTB, as always. You're my partner in all this stuff, and we have a lot of fun. And we have a few more coming up. Trust me, there's a lot of people who have been showing some interest. And Guilty Gaming, thank you so much for doing this and agreeing and not only sharing your gameplay and your modding ability, but I really think the talk side of it just brings out this a lot more. What you've done in the military service, especially the, presenting the flags. That's and just the straight face and the professionalism. I mean, I really think that says a lot, and very, very cool, man.
Oh, it was a good time, and thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Okay, guys. Well, that's it, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. Thanks again to the guys, and y'all take care. Peace out.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care, everyone. See ya.
Peace, everyone.
Thank you very much.